Hey Jerome, so I just wanted to get back to you on the three contingencies that will be in place. And I want to walk you through the escrow process, fairly simple. So the first thing we do is next step, in about 10 minutes, you'll get an offer in your inbox from me. It's just signing. We're going to offer $399,000. Now, we are going to ask for a $9,000 credit. Now, that credit is going to go towards any escrow fees. Escrow fees are about 2 to 2.5% of the purchase price of the property. That's cash out of your pocket during the 28-day escrow period. Now, what I do with the credit is that 2.5% is covered by the seller. So your only real down payment is up to you, but the minimum is 3%. On average, we do about 5 to 5.5% with deposit / down payment and escrow fees of the 2%. So I wipe half of that, well, half, 2.5% of that off by getting you a credit. It's easier to go that way, and it saves clients money in the long run, and it helps when you go refi your house, which everyone will do once rates go down. Now, after that, we go back and forth. Your offer gets accepted. We go a timeline, we go dates, and as soon as it's accepted, I call a number of home inspectors. I have 3 that I work with. By law, I provide you all 3, and you pick from the best. I rank them from a scale of 1 to 3. They all are excellent, but I do have a favorite. So I always am forthcoming. Now, they all range, and a buyer pays from that from about $400 to $600, just depending, and depending on the square footage of the property and what you would like done and all these great things. They're all very, very good, but that's on average that, and condos can vary in price, so sometimes you get a really good deal. Now, after I call the home inspector, I set it up. Home inspector comes out. I immediately turn in your accepted contract to a lender of your choice, which is the lender that you intend to use. I still highly recommend giving Modern Lending a shot and sending them the paperwork from the other 2 banks. They will kick the tar out of it, and they will save you a ton of money up front and overall. But that's not here nor there. Next thing you'll want you to do is we have 3 safeguards. So after the inspection report comes out, they're gonna send me a big giant PDF that says, this is your first safeguard. Look at these cute papers. They're all 3. Your first safeguard is your inspection report. Now, if there's a tile that has grout, that's dirty, and you don't like that, we say, based on the inspection report, we're going to drop escrow. Now, let's say that there's a couple things that aren't up to code, which any home within a year of itself is not going to be up to code 100%. We will make a request for repairs. The request for repairs say we would like A, B, and C fixed before close of escrow, and normally we get a reply that says we're willing to fix A and C, but not B. And we just go back and forth. Everything in this 28-day period is a negotiation. Now, once we reach middle ground with that, we sign that contingency off, and this one for inspection is gone. The next one is the bank's job. They have an appraisal. So as soon as I send them the RPA that's signed by us, they will immediately order appraisal. It normally is done within 10 days, and then we get the appraisal back within 14 to 17 days of total time. That is supposed to bring the home at, if we offer $399, it's supposed to come in at $399. This condo will. I'd be highly surprised if it didn't. I do recommend a local lender for that because the appraisals are different in different areas. That's just my 2 cents of doing this for so long. The appraisal, let's say it comes in at $390. Oh my gosh, what are we gonna do? I'm gonna say the home is worth $390, and Jerome would like it for $390, so we're gonna offer $390. Now the seller can say it's worth $399. You gotta come up with the difference in cash, and that's where you want a good agent to work out the numbers for you. But 9 out of 10 times it does come in, and it's a fairly inexpensive condo and a great price right now. It will appraise that value. If anything is called out on there, like let's say the stucco needs to be fixed, it doesn't because it's a condo. This is an example. If the stucco needs to be fixed, then the appraisal says it needs to be fixed. The seller has to fix it. If there's a roof leak, well, again, it's a condo. But if there's a roof leak or something's not, the appraisal calls out something weird. The door needs to be painted. The seller would have to paint that for the appraisal for the loan. So that's a great thing to have in your pocket. Now, the appraisal comes in at $399. We remove that contingency, and our last contingency is your loan. Your lender will qualify the tar out of you. Make sure you've got financials for 3 months. Like in case you lose your job, you can pay for the place 3 months while you're shopping. Make sure your credit, make sure the underwriting in the condo, make sure there's nothing on it, make sure all the deeds are good. All this thing's gonna go in there. He can do it. Most lenders can do it in about 18 days. We just keep that 28-day caveat on there. Now, once he says, hey, Jerome, enrollment, you're 100% good to go. You qualify for $399. You qualify for whatever number we end up with, or in any condo. You're good to go. Now, if you know your lender, you can always get a decline letter for whatever reason. Your job cancels, all these things happen, but you're like, I'm locked in, my lender says I'm good for it, but I'm moving back to Virginia. Okay, great. We need a lender that will work with us. So make sure you know your lender. Now, let's say all three of those things go through. Your last contingency is removed, and guess what? I will hand you keys, and it'll be 28 days, and you'll have some gifts from me, and we'll high five. So that's pretty much the escrow process in a nutshell. There's not a lot more that goes into it. What you're liable for is the escrow fees, which I try to waive. The lender normally doesn't pay your appraisal. I know that Modern Lending does pay your appraisal, which is about $600 to $800 on average. And you are liable for the you're liable for paying for the home inspection. That is it in a nutshell. This is going to be a large file, so I'm going to send it on over to your email right now.